Hi, I'm Dr. Jesse Scholes. I'm a physical therapist in Iguanago, Wisconsin. I'm going to be showing you how to do a 6-minute abdominal strengthening routine today that works all the muscles of the stomach, intended specifically to help you run better, feel better when you're walking around, lifting things, doing things around the house, and also to help with low back pain. Now, these exercises also, because if your stomach is weak, it can control your pelvis that well, can sometimes help with knee pain, hip pain, and other things. So this routine was originally made by Jeff Cavalier of Athlean X, and he's got a great channel on YouTube. He's got a lot of good products, a lot of good exercises, a lot of helpful tips for fixing yourself. But today I'm taking his routine that's slightly modified for the patients that I typically work with, and I'm also going to go over everything in a lot better detail for someone who's not very used to doing stomach strengthening. So what I'm going to start off with is a plank with a knee to elbow motion. Now I'm going to show you this in a couple different planes of view here. So the plank that I'm going to have you do, you're going to start on your hands and feet. Now, if you're not strong enough to do this from your hands and your feet on the floor, what you could do is put your hands on a couch or on the bed, something that's very heavy and is not going to move. What you're going to do then is bring your knee towards the same side elbow. Then you're going to use your stomach muscles to bring your knee towards your same side armpit. Bring your leg back. Repeat on the other side. Now, you do want to hold that position of having your knee towards your armpit in that end position. Now, you could hold for a few seconds, but the stomach muscles work with the diaphragm. So it actually works best is if you hold for anywhere between 2 and 4 breaths. So, knee towards my elbow, knee towards my armpit. That's our 4 breaths. Other side. And back. And then you just keep going back and forth, trying to lift your knee towards your elbow, then your armpit, holding for those 4 breaths each time. Now remember, this is a 6-minute ab routine. So we're going to try to do this exercise as many repetitions per leg as you can do for a full minute. Now, after you finish that exercise, we're going to move on to a reverse crunch, or if you're strong enough, hopefully, a reverse corkscrew. Now, you're going to lie on your back with your hips and knees bent 90 degrees. You're going to keep your legs very still, and you're going to use your stomach muscles to tilt your pelvis and flatten your back. Now, you can see what the natural tendency is to lift up your shoulders and your head, but I want you to keep your shoulders and head down. All that's happening is you're tilting your pelvis to flatten your back into the ground. You're holding again for our 2 to 4 breaths, and then you relax. Tilt again, and relax. And again, you'll do this for 1 full minute. Now, if you can do this easily, what you can do is progress yourself to the reverse corkscrew as a substitute exercise. Now, everything's the same, except instead of keeping your legs, we'll say, straight like so, you're going to turn your feet to the side and tilt your pelvis to flatten your back. As you hold for those 2 to 4 breaths. Your knees should not go to the side or go to the other side as you do this. Your knees should stay very still as you pivot your feet. So, again, with this exercise, you're just trying to do it for a minute, as many as you can do. If your form gets bad or shaky, take a small rest. Try to finish out as many as you can do when you're ready to for that minute period of time. The next exercise is a side plank. If you have the strength and a healthy shoulder, you put your top hand on your top hip, put the weight on your feet, lift up. Now, in this position, you should hopefully see a straight line down my body, from nose to sternum in the chest or breastbone, through the center of your pelvis, or kind of where your belt buckle would be, and through the middle of your legs. From the foot end, you should not have your hips buckled back. You should not be turned forward or turned back. You should be perfectly aligned straight. Now for this exercise, your goal is to do 30 seconds per side. If for whatever reason you have an ankle or knee problem, what I would recommend is doing it from your knees instead. If you have a shoulder problem, do not do this exercise. It puts a lot of strain on the shoulder. One other point, if you have healthy shoulders, you want to make sure you don't give yourself a bad shoulder with this exercise. So in this top position, your elbow should be a little bit lower than where your shoulder is. If you start off and your elbow and shoulder at the same position and you lift up, your elbow is going to be higher than your shoulder, and it puts a lot of bad strain. So start off with your elbow tucked in, then lift up. And make sure that you're breathing with your belly, your diaphragm, as you're holding this. The next exercise is a 21 crunch. Again, we want to breathe with the belly when you're doing this. This will work your upper and lower stomach muscles and the obliques a little bit, which are on the sides of your stomach, the love handle area. You're going to lie on your back with your arms overhead. Flatten your back by using your stomach muscles. Lift one leg up to 45 degrees. Come up, reach towards the knee. Keep your head, shoulder blades up off the ground. Hold for our 2 to 4 breaths. Lower back, make sure the arms are up overhead. Switch legs. A lot of times you'll want to bring your leg higher so you don't have to come up as high. But challenge yourself. Only bring that leg up to a 45-degree angle as you reach up to it. Keep your stomach muscles working as you breathe for those 2 to 4 breaths. And again, there should be no surprise as you'll be doing this for a full minute. But make sure to flatten your back and keep your back flat as you're moving your arms and your leg. The last exercise is a rotational exercise. Now there's 2 different ways you can do this. The best way is to do a punch. I call this a rehab punch. You'll need some sort of elastic band. You're going to either tie it in a knot and close it in a doorway where it won't slide, or you can tie a band around some sort of vertical column. Now what you're going to do is take a step with the leg that's furthest from where you have this. And I should note that you want to start facing sideways to where the door is, or where you have it tied. You're going to take a step so your foot's pointing directly away from it, and then you're going to turn your body and pivot on the back leg. So at the end of the motion, as you're kind of doing your punch, both feet are facing this direction, directly away from where you have it tied. And again, you want to hold this position for 2 to 4 breaths. We want to do 30 seconds per side. Now, from the side view, we want to make sure that as you're doing this, you're not leaning forward. You want to keep your back straight, and it should be like you're spinning as you punch. Remember, both feet should point away from where you have the band tied. Now, truthfully, for your stomach muscles, it doesn't matter if you get a full extension in the arm to punch. All you need to do is do that punching motion as far as a band will let you go. as long as the lower body and your back are all doing what they're supposed to do for motion, it doesn't matter how far out you straighten your elbow. And just remember, hold for those 2 to 4 breaths at the end of every punch. But this is a great strengthening routine for the stomach muscles that Jeff came up with. Again, I hope this is pretty clear for you to do. I've had a lot of people that liked and got benefit from doing this, but had a lot of questions. So I'm redoing this video for you today to hopefully squash some of those questions that could come up. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed these exercises and that you find them helpful. And I hope that you learn to better breathe with your diaphragm as you're doing stomach exercises, because it can make for a much better functioning abdomen, core, and can also make your waistline seem a bit smaller. Thanks for watching.